Hello students, how are you? So where did we leave the last time? I think we were discussing about nucleophilic substitution reactions, and nucleophilic substitution reactions, I was telling you, they can be of two types, mechanism wise, SN1 and SN2 kind of reactions. I also discussed that nucleophilic substitution reactions are one of the most important category of reactions which alkyl halides they exhibit, and they are also very important from an organic chemist point of view because they'll be giving rise to various diverse products, and hence they make alkyl halides one of the most synthetic, most important synthetic reagents in organic chemistry. Therefore, we need to study about the mechanism of these reactions because that will be telling us about the reaction conditions so that we can obtain maximum yield from these reactions. Now, as I was talking that these can be first order as well as second order reactions. Correspondingly, they can be of two types. Here you can see that nucleophilic substitution bimolecular and nucleophilic substitution unimolecular, SN2 and SN1. Obviously here S stands for substitution, N for nucleophilic, and 2 here for example stands for bimolecular. Similarly here 1 stands for unimolecular reaction. Now let's first talk about SN2 reactions, that is bimolecular reactions. As is clear from the name, bimolecular reactions will be involving two molecules simultaneously in the reaction, and in this case I am taking the example of any general alkyl halide RX which is being treated with a nucleophile such as hydroxyl ion. Result is the formation of ROH and X negative. Now here in this case the rate of reaction, which is denoted here by R, is directly proportional to the concentration of both alkyl halide as well as the hydroxyl ion, which means that it is equal to this equation can represent the rate of this reaction, that is R is equal to K, which is rate constant, Rx and OH negative concentration. So obviously you can see that here it is a second order reaction, hence named as SN2 reaction. Now in this case, if I denote the mechanism precisely by taking an example of, say here, methyl bromide. What is this molecule? This is methyl bromide. As you can see, it's a tetrahedral molecule. Tetrahedral molecule means that this carbon atom is attached to 3 hydrogens, 1 Br in a tetrahedral manner, in which OH negative is the attacking reagent. Now as I am telling you that it's a concerted reaction, concerted means that it will be taking place, it will be involving both the reactants simultaneously, and the reaction will take place in a single step. Therefore this OH negative, when it comes close to this methyl bromide, a transition state slowly develops. Now this transition state which is here involves a backside attack by hydroxyl ion, giving you this kind of structure in which OH negative is present on the backside, 2 of the hydrogens here, 1 is there, and 1 bromide ion that is present on the front side. Now you can see that I have denoted these hydrogens by 3 different notations, which simply represents the tetrahedral arrangement, that is different planes in which these hydrogens are lying, and this kind of transition state is there. Now look at this transition state very carefully. Here this OH, which was negative totally, it begins to get itself attached onto this carbon. This bromine begins to detach itself from this carbon. In the process, this Br acquires a slight negative charge, and the negative charge which was originally present on OH also becomes less and less, so that it also is only slightly negatively charged now. And you can see this transition state, which obviously is highly unstable, and this transition state which is forming gradually, it will ultimately be changed into the product. Once formed, the product formation takes place very fastly, and therefore in the product what happens is that OH gets itself attached fully to this carbon, Br negative gets detached. So this is the product which I am going to obtain from this reaction. You can see very well that in this reaction the rate of reaction will be depending on the concentration of hydroxyl ion and the concentration of this alkyl halide, and therefore this reaction will be bimolecular reaction, and hence we call it an SN2 reaction, leading to a substituted product here. Another important point which is to be noted in this reaction is that here backside attack of the nucleophile takes place, and it will be obvious from stereochemical evidence as well, which will be seen a little bit later. But you can see that there is a backside attack by the nucleophile, resulting in the formation of the product here. As regards the energy diagram of this reaction, look at it carefully, that here if it is showing the progress of reaction versus energy, then reactants at this level and products at this level, they undergo this transition via this transition state, which will be corresponding to the peak of the activation energy barrier, and this actually is the activation energy, that is the difference in energy between the reactant and the transition state. Now I hope that the whole mechanism of this reaction is clear to you. Next I am going to talk about the stereochemistry of this SN2 reaction, actually, which is very important. And as I have told you already, that the highlight of this thing is the backside attack. Now backside attack, what do you understand by that? You can get it that if the attack is from the backside, then the configuration will become opposite to the configuration of the original product. Now this needs to be understood. How does this configuration become inverted or become opposite to the original configuration? How can we illustrate it with the help of an example? Now examples can be many, but the example which is quoted here is that of the conversion of 2-bromo-octane into 2-octanol. 2-bromo-octane, which is an alkyl halide, that is alkyl bromide, and 2-octanol is the alcohol which is formed from here. Obviously here also the attacking reagent is hydroxyl ion, and this alkaline hydrolysis of this molecule is taken here as an example to show the stereochemistry of this reaction. Now why have we chosen these examples? Because these are optically active molecules and they can tell us whether the configuration is same or has been inverted. Now in this case, as you can see, we have got 2-bromo-octane molecule. I can show the structure like CH3, CHBr, C6H13. This is 8 carbon containing compound, so octane, and the second position is substituted with Br, and therefore this is called 2-bromo-octane. Now this 2-bromo-octane, as I have shown here, look carefully, is levorotatory. This negative sign is levorotatory. I have told you many times that this means that this particular molecule rotates the plane of polarized light towards left, means it denotes its optical activity. Now, you must also know that 2-octanol possessing this structure is also levorotatory. That means that in other words, I can say that levorotatory octanol has got this structure, which is, as you can see very well from here, is the same as that of levorotatory 2-bromo-octane. Now, am I clear on this point? Because this point is all important here. That this 2-bromo-octane and 2-octanol, both of them are levorotatory and both of them are possessing the same structure. Now, this is not always necessary that the molecules possessing the same structure have got the same sign of rotation as well. I have told this to you many times that these are two different properties. You have to keep in mind that the sign of rotation and the structure of the molecule, they are two entirely different things. Okay, so don't confuse them. The only point which you have to remember is that here these two structures are same. Same means that they are not opposite to each other. Okay, so next I'll tell you what actually happens during this reaction. Now, if I say that inversion of configuration should take place via this reaction because it proceeds through an SN2 mechanism. So this you can see from here. Now, is